This is the fifth group of hostages to be freed by Hamas since the ceasefire came into force on the 19th of January. But it's the first group where the physical appearance of those freed has drawn gasps from people watching, a shocking reminder of the ordeal they've experienced over the last 16 months. Gaunt and frail, the men were paraded on stage in Deir al-Balah in central Gaza, in front of banners declaring Hamas's ongoing resistance against Israel. 56-year-old Ohad Ben Ami and 52-year-old Eli Sharabi were abducted from Kibbutz Be'eri on October 7, 2023, with 34-year-old Or Levy taken hostage from the Nova Music Festival. Family and friends excited to see their loved ones returning, although shocked to see their condition. The International Red Cross taking custody of the men, who were transported back to Israel and handed over to the IDF. Ahead of reunions with their families. For Or Levy, it's a bittersweet moment, meeting his brother and parents, his wife not present, murdered on October 7 during the attack on the festival. Eli Sharabi's wife and daughters were also killed that day, while his brother died in captivity. The condition of the three men has prompted anger from the Israeli community and Israeli authorities. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying they were shocking scenes. The President, Isaac Herzog, declaring them all crime against humanity, while hostage advocates have likened the scenes to those at the end of World War II, when Nazi concentration camps were liberated by Allied forces. The Israeli government's hostage coordinator making this statement.
The shocking sights we saw today touched the hearts of all of us and join the vivid and burning memory of October 7, 2023. The State of Israel takes seriously the repeated violations by Hamas, and even more seriously, the condition of the three hostages who were released this morning. We will not go over this in silence. A message has been sent to the negotiators, and actions will be taken accordingly.
Exactly what those actions will be remains unclear. In the past, Israel has delayed the release of Palestinian prisoners and detainees in protest over Hamas's actions at hostage handovers. That didn't happen this time around. Buses carrying Palestinians leaving prisons as part of the Israeli side of the deal. 42 prisoners and detainees were returned to Ramallah in the West Bank. Among them, one man serving 18 life sentences for planning suicide attacks in the early 2000s. The majority of those freed on Saturday were sent back into Gaza. Many had been detained but not convicted of offences. Some were rushed to hospital the moment they got off buses. Evidence of the ongoing criticism of Israeli authorities and allegations of serious neglect and mistreatment of prisoners and detainees behind bars. A handful of the freed prisoners were deported into Egypt. This hostage handover is happening at the end of the third week of this initial 6-week ceasefire, and the talks of what will happen after that initial deal lapses are looming. An Israeli delegation is expected to travel to Qatar to hold some of those talks this weekend. From some of the hostages' families, particularly those yet to be freed by Hamas, there is fury being directed at the Israeli government and the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The allegation is that he has prioritised a trip to the United States this week rather than partaking in those talks, trying to push forward a deal which would see the rest of the Israeli hostages released and brought back home. The allegation being that he's spending more time in a luxury Washington hotel than actually trying to get his countrymen and women back into Israel. We know that in the next couple of weeks there are going to be some very emotional scenes because of the initial 33 hostages slated for release in this 6-week period. 21 have now been brought home. 8 of those remaining are believed to be dead, and as their bodies are returned to Israel, the sense of joy that we saw today at these 3 men being released will no doubt be replaced by an outpouring of grief at these lives lost and allegations of the Israeli government not doing enough to bring them home quicker.